Silent Separation by Guman, Chapter 10.1 No Escape. Newlywed lawyer Yichen was busier than before he got married. He had not finished his current case, but has also accepted a difficult new case as a favor. Due to handling several cases at the same time, he has to work until late at night every day. Mushan was usually already asleep when the lights were still on in Yichen's study. Even so, Mushan still felt very happy. When Yichen was busy with his work, she would find things to do, such as cleaning this and organizing that. She looked into the study from time to time, always seeing Yichen surrounded by paperwork. Living together, Mushan could truly understand Yichen's diligence now. People saw him as young and successful, making them envious, but no one knew the mental and physical efforts behind his halo. A person without background connection, it was very difficult for him to strive for his current achievement. In his most difficult time, she was not by his side. When Yichen walked out of the study with an empty cup, he saw Mushan hugging her knees and sitting on the sofa. She was holding a cookbook and looking lost in thought, not knowing what she was thinking. It was after 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Yichen had been busy all morning in the study, having hastily eaten lunch and then returned to his work. When Mushan saw him, she immediately put down the book in her hand and stood up from the sofa. "Let me." She disappeared happily into the kitchen with his empty cup. Yichen looked at his empty hand and suddenly felt time has gone backwards. It seems as if they have returned to the past when they were still at the university. He was busy with his studies, working and participating in the student council. Mushan was lost in between his many activities. It may seem as if Mushan was holding tightly onto him, but in reality, he did not have much time for her. Now the same thing was happening again. Yichen returned to his study and looked at the calendar. Today was the November 15th, the centennial anniversary of the university. The law firm made a sizable donation to the law faculty in C University. Lao Yun had accepted the invitation to represent the firm in the donation ceremony. Thus, he continuously encouraged Yichen and Shenhe to go to the celebration. Yichen is not fond of noisy place, and moreover, with a heavy workload, but he was hesitant now. Mushan carried the hot teacup into the study. Yichen pulled her into his embrace. "Are you busy in the afternoon?" "Why, do we have somewhere to go?" Mushan's eye lit up and asked excitedly. The expectation in Mushan's eyes erased Yichen's hesitant. Yichen turned off his computer. "Yes, today is the university centennial celebration. Do you want to go?" Of course Mushan wanted to go because the centennial celebration would be lively. When Yichen and Mushan arrived at the university, there were too many people, so it was impossible to drive the car into the campus. Hence, Yichen had to park far away and then walk with Mushan to the university. "Wait!" Halfway there, Mushan stopped and pointed at the roadside stall selling t-shirts printed with C University on the front. "Yichen, can we change into these?" Yichen frowned because he felt weird wearing that, but Mushan grabbed his hand and refused to leave. He has no option but said relentlessly, "You go and buy them." They had left the house in a rush, so Mushan did not bring her purse. She took some money from Yichen's wallet and squeezed into the crowd. A while later, she emerged from the crowd holding 2 t-shirts and looking triumphant. Today, both of them were wearing light sweaters. Mushan put on the t-shirt on top of her loose sweater, appearing chubby and strange. In contrast, Yichen, who was wearing it the same way, appeared handsome and tall, thereby attracting the constant attention of some woman walking by. It was like that in the past as well. Yichen was the focus of all the attention on campus wherever he went. However, he always looked indifferent, seemingly having no feelings at all, facing those gazes. Mushan pulled onto his sleeve. "Yichen, can't you feel someone looking at you?" Yichen glanced at her. "Don't look around when walking." Mushan did not say anything further. Of all the people who are clueless about being sensitive, this person would probably make the top of the list. While walking into the university gate in the midst of the crowd, Yichen received a phone call from Shenhe. "Are you at home or at the office?" Come here quickly because a lot of our classmates are here today. Sumin said that if you don't come, she'll personally go and drag you here. Sumin had been the president of the Faculty of Law Student Council before Yichen took over. She stayed on at the university as a lecturer after graduating. She and Yichen used to often work together. I am at the North Gate. Where are you guys? You're here? That's great. We're at the new building, so come here quickly. Yichen put away his mobile phone and said to Mushan, go with me to the Faculty of Law first, and then we'll go to your faculty to take a look. Your faculty? I'm not going. Mushan hesitated for a moment before saying, why? Yichen was immediately suspicious. He nearly forgot there was always something going on wrong when he was with this person. Even though so many years has passed, Yichen found out he was still conditioned to act reflectively around her. There are too many people in your faculty, Mushan said quietly. Yichen used to be a popular figure in the Faculty of Law, so many people knew about him. 'Tis many people probably know about their tumultuous relationship in the past. Mushan really did not want to deal with those questioning looks. You better go along. Moreover, I want to take some photos. I will have more inspiration doing that alone. Then what would be the point of him coming here? Yichen felt a little frustrated and pulled Mushan, who was ready to take flight. You do not have money or your phone with you. So how can you find me later? How can you get home later? Seeing Mushan blushing in shame, Yichen knew she had not thought of these things. Sometimes he felt like he was raising a child. He heaved a sigh and said, it's better if our child takes after me. Why talk about the distant future? Mushan held out her hand and muttered, give me some money. Yichen only gave his phone to her. I'll call you later. Don't go away too far. Call Shinho's phone if you need me. I really don't understand what you're worried about. Yichen fixed her hair, which was messed up by the wind. How could he not know what Mushan was thinking? Nevertheless, he let her do what she wanted because this matter was not important. The great Loi He, you're famous now, so starting to act arrogant? Yichen has just arrived at the Faculty of Law's new building, and Suman playfully teased him right away. Yichen knew this senior classmate's temperament well. If he said something back, she would tease him more, so Yichen kept quiet. Suman continued her teasing, but seeing that her target did not say anything, she stopped. Shinher kept on staring at Yichen's clothes. When did you have such good taste? Yichen looked down at himself, for eye-catching big red words, XX University, were printed on the t-shirts. Indeed, he looked silly. He smiled, took off the t-shirt, and held it in his hand. Shinher immediately understood. Why isn't your family here? Who knows where she has run off to? Yichen said helplessly. While they were chatting, many friends came over to say hello. Suman used the opportunity to pull Lao Yun aside. Does he, Yichen, have a girlfriend? Lao Yun stroked his chin and replied confidently, nope. A wife is not considered as a girlfriend. He made a very clear distinction of this. Why is it still the same? He is still dead set on waiting for her? Suman knew well about Yichen's past and disapproved somewhat with this waiting. It's good if he doesn't have a girlfriend. There is a new young female teacher in our faculty who looks very pretty, well-educated, and from a good family background. When it's time to have our meal, I will call her over and introduce them. Later, you must not say anything. Of course, Lao Yun would happily not say anything. Yichen initially planned to say hello and then leave, but he could not get away now. First, he went with them to visit a few professors, and then there was also an alumni forum. When they walked out of the building, it was already 5 o'clock. Lao Yun greeted a few friends and said, I've already made a reservation at Baijin to dine together. Baijin's hotel is the only 5-star hotel near the university. It appeared Lao Yun was prepared to spend some money this time. Yichen borrowed his phone to call Mushan. Mushan did not plan to take any pictures. She only took along her cameras out of habit. Yichen has gone to the Faculty of Law, so Mushan was also going to her faculty. Back then, Mushan's university entrance exam score barely qualified for C University, so she was put into the unpopular School of Chemistry. Unfortunately, chemistry was her worst subject. She managed to just scrap by with a nearly passing grade for her first year at the university, probably because of Yichen's tutoring. Mushan was only at the School of Chemistry for slightly more than a year only. Most of her self-study time was spent at the law faculty, so she did not know many people in her faculty. She walked around the School of Chemistry but did not run into any acquaintance. After walking out of the School of Chemistry, she took 2 pictures of the scenery, but her interest was a little dried. Her hands accidentally touched the phone in her pocket. She could not help but think of Yichen. She wondered what he was doing at the Faculty of Law. Recently, Yichen and her seemed to get along better all of a sudden, especially after she came back from Hong Kong. Mushan was happy with the current state of their relationship, but there were times she felt uneasy. She did not quite understand Yichen's thinking. Actually, it had always been like this, as she'd always could not fondle out Yichen's thought. Could there be a day where everything would change back to before? Mushan did not want to think about it anymore. She kicked the mud on the ground, telling herself, since you can't understand, then it is best to be simple-minded. Today, there was an unprecedented excitement at C University. People were everywhere, from current young student to former old student. It was hard to imagine the countless number of students who graduate from this university. Maybe because Mushan was wearing a t-shirt with C University's name printed on it. From time to time, people came up and asked her for direction. Relying on her hazy memory, Mushan gave direction to each of them. After walking a few steps, she was once again stopped by a young man in a suit. "Student, do you know where Yin Hun would give his speech?" Lost in thought, Mushan was frightened back to reality by what she heard. She was stunned, doubting if she had just heard wrongly. "Yin Hun? Who did you say?" Mushan asked blankly. "Yin Hun, China's Internet Miracle President of SOSO Search Site. Where is he giving his speech?" The young man looked at her anxiously. Seeing her dazed look, he immediately turned away and asked another student, "Student, do you know where Yin Hun would give his speech?" "In Auditorium 1, but why are you going there? His speech is from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It has already started, so you certainly won't be able to get in." Having said that, the female student still gave direction. The young man thanked her hastily and hurriedly ran to Auditorium 1. Mushan stood still, taking a while before she fully processed what she heard. "Yin Hun?" He had returned. He is at the C University now. Auditorium 1, which could accommodate about 1,000 people, was already full. Even the doorway was crowded with people. Fortunately, the university already thought of this, so an electronic big screen was set up outside the auditorium to broadcast the speech live. Mushan stood in the crowd and looked up at the confident man on the screen. He has a broad forehead signifying intelligence, a pair of thick eyebrows that characterize his firm and persistent nature, sharp like knife facial features that lack gentleness, a penetrating pair of eyes which had experienced a lot yet remained calm, and he appeared stern to seem like someone who is difficult to get close to. That was Yin Hun, the upstart in the internet world who built his business up from nothing at Silicon Valley, the new technology tycoon who was worth several billions of American dollars, her ex-husband in name, maybe also in reality. The topic Yin Hun talked about was very common and done by many before. It was about China's IT industry development and future. However, his perspective was unique, his analysis powerful, and his unusual position made his speech stood out from the masses. Because of his background in science and engineering, Yin Hun placed great emphasis on fact. According to his speech, the future of IT was not described as some imaginary future plan, rather it was established on a feasible and logical basis. As a result, his speech was very convincing. His legendary personal life experience and struggle further moved all the students who were listening emotionally. He also looked very handsome, specifically the type full of strength and firmness. Therefore, the applause from the audience were surprisingly mixed with strength for the female students. Outside the auditorium, the girls standing near Mushan were excited about Yin Hun's elegant manners and charisma. "He's so handsome, I'm willing to admit it, even if he's a little bit old." "Who said he's old? He's only 34 years old, still young and vigorous." If I have a husband this talent, this successful, this handsome, I would die happily. Forget it. Someone like this, you have to marry before he becomes successful. It is too late now. Did you know, when Yin Hun was still studying in our faculty, his girlfriend was the most beautiful in our faculty at that time? This sentence immediately attracted the attention of everyone around who were listening attentively to the speech. What is your faculty? A young man asked. Foreign language. What happened? Are they still together? I heard this from other people, so it might not be true, the girl emphasized before starting to say. I heard when he was studying at the university, Yin Hun was very poor because he comes from a rural area. However, he was admitted to the School of Mathematics because of his good grades and was also very famous. Later, he dated the most beautiful girl publicly known in our faculty at that time. It is said that their relationship was very good. Unfortunately, after graduation, in order to stay at the university, she married the son of the school head, whereas Yin Hun gave up a job offer from a domestic research institute and went abroad to further his study. The school head daughter-in-law, is she the one teaching us British history? Isn't she recently divorced? Really? Do you think she's feeling very regretful now? Who knows? The girl shrugged. A professor's assistant talked about these matters during a dinner we treated him after our dormitory got a scholarship last time. The degree of credibility is very high. The chattering and discussion were still continuing with the enthusiastic. The past and privacy of famous people have always been a topic of interest to the public.